So just what is Heat Nation? It's a place where the only requirement for citizenship is belief.
It's a nation where people are their own passports.
Proudly displaying the stamps of their citizenship on whatever can fit the word Heat.
It's a choice that says the name on the front
Will always mean more than the name on the back.
It's a nation whose constitution is written on our cars, our streets, our homes, our hats, and heads.
It's found on our shirts and our skins.
It's in our hearts. It's in our gut.
Our colors define the Heat. Our fans use our colors to identify with one another in the city of Miami.
From the beginning, we have broken the mold. We are edgy. We are groundbreaking. Our brand isn't bound to a rigid set of rules.
The one thing that has consistently defined the Heat in all the years that I have been here is that we changed the game. We do not compromise in this regard.
And who, you might ask, resides in Heat Nation? Every fan who has ever completed the phrase, "Let's go Heat."
Let's go Heat! Let's go Heat!
That's every single player who still remembers what it felt like
To wear these 4 letters across their chest.
It is me. It is you. We are all in this together, forever. We are Heat Nation. The Miami Heat is bigger than any single player. No one player is bigger than the team.
Basketball is the product, and the product changes year to year.
People live and die by the success of their favorite team. Sports can make their year or ruin their week. But a nation endures, in good times as in bad. A nation celebrates its culture and its flag.
This season presents us with a rare opportunity.
A clean break, a fresh start, a blank canvas.
It is our responsibility now to make sure they hear us loud and clear, to make them remember our name.
The boundaries of Heat Nation have expanded. We have truly become a nation of millions that spans the globe. Heat Nation is alive and well. This is our presentation of colors. We've raised our banners. Now it's time to plant our flag. Heat Nation, I know you're out there. Are you listening?
Second time in franchise history, there'll be another parade down beautiful Biscayne Boulevard. Miami has won back-to-back NBA championships. The Larry O'Brien Trophy stays in South Florida.
On the heels of an historic run highlighted by 4 straight finals appearances and a pair of NBA championships, the Miami Heat found themselves a team in transition just as the summer of 2014 was beginning to unfold. The departure of LeBron James left a void in a championship lineup, but a championship culture remains solidly intact. With unchanged aspirations, the leadership group that has so often delivered on its promises once again committed itself to immediately putting in place the pieces for the next title-contending edition of Miami Heat basketball.
Hello, everybody, and welcome inside the beautiful Biscayne Bayside Studios here at the American Airlines Arena, and welcome to a very special edition of Inside the Heat. Alongside the coach, Tony Fiorentino, I'm Eric Reed. Now, Heat Nation, a proud and loyal collection that claims players and fans alike forms the fabric of this great franchise. Theirs were the voices most loudly heard in the days following the news that LeBron James would be returning to Cleveland, and their message was one of resolve and resilience, delivered with an air of determination and defiance. And Coach, we pick it up with the Heat losing in last year's NBA Finals to the San Antonio Spurs. A very eventful offseason ensued, the departure of LeBron, but a quick and emphatic response by the Heat.
You would expect nothing less from Pat Riley, Mickey Arison, Nick Arison. They did a great job of regrouping, signing players that they had to sign, getting new guys on the roster, which we'll go throughout this program, and yet the Heat are ready to compete again.
All right, Coach. For nearly 2 decades, the Hall of Fame fingerprints of one man have been left as unmistakable imprints on the incredible measures of success enjoyed by the Miami Heat. And in the early days of summer, his was the lead voice that offered both assurance and direction.
Hello, everybody, especially all you Heat lifers out there. One message that I want to communicate to you is that we have something, I think, very unique and very special for you in the future. We've had a great 4 years. It was an historic run. It was a fun run.
The Miami Heat are going to be back-to-back champions of the basketball world.
2 championships, 4 finals, a lot of great moments, a lot of great feelings.
Allen from downtown.
But I want to let you know that there's a lot more of that ahead of us. You will see one of the most competitive teams, one of the most entertaining teams that you've seen in a long time. I am as excited as I've ever been to let you know that we're a contender. And you can't ever look at the Miami Heat and not think of us as being a contender. We've always been somebody who believed in the big picture. We have an owner who thinks big. We're not going to be satisfied with anything that doesn't come close to winning the championship. That's what we're about.
All right, welcome back. We are joined now by Miami Heat president, basketball Hall of Famer, I still call him the coach, Pat Riley. And Coach,
I will forever be a coach, so I will allow you to do that, okay, to a Heat lifer.
Staying with Heat lifer, the term came into really being well known this summer when Dwayne Wade re-signed with the Heat. He turned himself a Heat lifer. Now, you echoed those sentiments afterwards, so did Mickey Arison. What are the characteristics and what does the term Heat lifer mean to Pat Riley?
It really has a lot to do with belief in the organization, a belief in yourself, belief in your teammates, most importantly, belief in the city, you know, that you play in, and the fans that come out, you know, night in and night out because they love you and what you've done. And to me, you know, this whole Heat Nation and this whole Heat lifer is about a trust between both, between the fans and the people that come into that arena every single night and the players who compete out on the court. All of them know it's not the name on the back that's important. It's the name on the front, which is the Miami Heat.
A lot went down in the month of July, but soon after, when the dust settled, you created a message for those Heat lifers out there in Heat Nation. Why was it important for you to create and deliver that message about all that they have to look forward to in the immediate present and in the not too far off future?
During the most adverse, you know, time in free agency, after about 5 minutes, I said, we got to get to work. We got to move forward. There are other players out there that we have to talk to, we have to convince to come and be part of this family here. And within 24 hours, we put together what we felt was a very, very competitive team. And so, in spite of what happened, this franchise is not tainted. You know, we're not wounded. There's nothing wrong with us.
You and Mickey have shown over the years that you'll do whatever it takes to put a championship caliber team on the court. What is it about this process that energizes you and intrigues you?
The privilege, you know, of a lifetime is to be who you are, what you do, and where you come from. I'm Pat Riley, a Heat lifer, okay? You know, and it's what I do is I do basketball. I get excited each and every year because, you know, I have put down roots in this city, and each and every year has been a challenge, a real special challenge. Those words that I expressed 19 years ago is that we are going to be, and I guarantee you, the hardest working, best conditioned, most professional, unselfish team in the NBA. And so when you come in with that kind of competitive will, and that's what your culture is, it is now being moved on to another generation. And Eric is building his culture inside of that culture. And so that's what it's about. That's why I get excited about it.
As Eric Spoelstra, who you've just mentioned, 2 decades with the franchise, talk about his growth as a head coach and now the new challenges directly in front of him.
One of the #1 assets and characteristics of Coach Spo is that he's got this incredible work ethic. I also think he's one of the most innovative young coaches, and he's willing to take a risk. I have great faith in him, and I think the one thing about this organization, and I think the Heat Nation should understand this, is that when this generational run broke because of LeBron's movement in going to Cleveland, the organization didn't break.
I think what really caught the NBA's attention was how you restructured the roster after LeBron moved back to Cleveland. Talk about that real challenge and the roster you've put together, including the flexibility it will afford this franchise.
Well, when you have one plan, and in the blink of an eye, it's not going to happen, and then all of a sudden you got to move on to what people always call Plan B or Plan C. At that particular time, you sit down very quickly and say, well, what are we going to do? We want to win, and we feel like we're a contender. But we also have to plan like we did back in 2006. We always looked at 2010 as possibly a year that we're going to be able to change this franchise, and we did that. And all I want to do is be able to sit at a table with one of those players that we feel could be franchise-changing type players and have a conversation. And so we're going to have the ability to do that.
And finally, Coach, I know how much it means to you as one of the leaders of this organization, the way South Florida and Heat Nation overall has rallied around this franchise.
Yes, they have, and I think everybody has embraced the notion of change and are savvy enough as fans to know that we have something that's really special here. And we're going to be very competitive this year, so that's why I think they've embraced it.
Thank you, Pat Riley. We appreciate you being on set with us.